Hi, my name is Monica Botia. My history, the whistle. Does the history have a theme? The theme of the history is the magic of the whistle at the moment of sounding strongly. What is this history about? It is about the curiosity of an archaeologist. He wanted to know the reason why they demolished a church that was on the golf course, which was near the inn where he was staying. This made him go to look in the place. There he found a piece of metal whistle, which made it sound after it had been cleaned and made a spirit to be behind him. The colonel, friend of the professor, made the decision to blow the whistle so that he could leave Professor Parkins alone. What is the central idea? The central idea of this history is the research that Professor Parkins was conducting about why they to overthrow the church that was located on the golf course that led him to find a magic whistle. Is it implicit or explicit? The history has an implicit idea because there are ideas that the author does not express directly, but suggested. At the same time, the reader must be able to read between the lines to capture information not explicitly provided in the history. Who is the protagonist of the history? Try to establish his or her age, family background, social class, and status and occupation. The protagonist of this history is Professor Parkins, a man of approximately 40 or 45 years old, single of a high social status. He is an archaeologist. What is the problem presented in the history? The problem presented in this history is the research that an archaeologist, Professor Parkins, he wanted to do in a coastal town called Burnstown, which leads him to find a piece of metal that was haunted. How was the problem solved at the end? At the end of the history, the friend of Professor Parkins, Colonel Wilson, decided to take the whistle and throw it so that the shadow that was chasing the professor left him in pieces since he said that these things were very common in India, where he was living for many years. At what point in this history is the tension heightened? Is that the dramatic climax, where the greatest tension is evident, is when Professor Parkins arrived in the room after meeting a child who sure he had seen someone in the window of this room. When he sits to sleep, he can't because the moonlight, he doesn't leave it, and when he wakes up, he realizes that in the other bed that is in the room, there is a man who doesn't let him go out and tries to kill him. When Colonel Wilson pushed him back to try to help him. Thus the history involves in epiphany or moment of insight, revelation, or self-realization, or for the protagonist or for the reader. How is in the moment presented? The history implies a moment of revelation because the teacher or the professor wanted to know what happened in the city of Burnstown. So after having played all afternoon golf, went to the place where the church was in finding to that piece of metal. At that time, he realized that someone was watching him. When he tried to blow the whistle, this shadow appears again, making the professor unable to sleep.